Happy day, children. In last part, we have seen about different chemical equations and how to find out whether the chemical reaction has taken place or not. And we have seen about how to balance the chemical equation. Correct. So in this part, we are going to see about different types of chemical reaction. So before we are going into the types of chemical reaction, during chemical reaction you need to keep in mind atoms of one element will not change into atoms of another element. Only rearrangement of atoms between the two reactants will take place. And chemical reactions will involve only breaking and making of bonds between two atoms so that it will produce the new substances. You need to keep in mind that atoms of one element do not change into atoms of another element. Only rearrangement of atoms between two elements will take place, or between two compounds will take place. Clear? So now we are moving on to the types of chemical reaction. So what are the types of chemical reaction? First one, combination reaction. Second one, decomposition reaction. Third one, displacement reaction. Fourth one, oxidation and reduction. First, we are going to see about combination reaction. In name itself, you can guess, right? Combination of two reactants. So, when two or more reactants, A is one reactant, B is another reactant, when it both combine together, it forms a single product. So when two or more reactants combined together to form a single product, so that is called as combination reaction. Now we are going to see the activity given in book. In a beaker, we are going to take calcium oxide. What is the common name for calcium oxide? It is quicklime. Okay, so what is the formula for calcium oxide? CaO. So to calcium oxide, you are going to add water. So what are the observations will you observe when you add water to calcium oxide? The first thing you can see that lot of bubbles coming from the solution. Okay, so because it is exothermic, now I am introducing the new term exothermic. What is exothermic? It will releases lot of heat along with the formation of products. So that is called as exothermic reaction. So when calcium oxide reacts with water, it forms calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide, the common name is slaked lime. To this lime water, that is the calcium hydroxide solution, if you pass carbon dioxide, it will form calcium carbonate. You may ask me the question where it is applicable. It is nothing but this solution is used in whitewashing. Okay, whitewashing the wall. So what will happen? So we will, with to calcium oxide, we will add water so that it will form calcium hydroxide solution. This calcium hydroxide solution is used to whitewash the walls. Okay, what will happen after 1 or 2 days? This calcium hydroxide reacts with the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It will react and it forms calcium carbonate. This calcium carbonate is responsible for the shiny appearance of the wall. Okay, it is frequently asked question and it is the high order thinking question. Okay, so what are the observations will you notice when you mix calcium oxide with water? Means it releases a lot of heat, so it is exothermic, and if you touch the contents of the beaker, it will become warm. So we have seen about combination. So what is combination? Two or more reactants, it combine together to form a single product, that is called as combination. Next we are moving on to exothermic reaction. So what is exothermic? Exo means heat is released. That is called as exothermic. Now we are going to see few examples for exothermic. See, burning of coal, that is C plus O2 gives CO2. Burning of natural gas, that is we are used in home, right? The methane, CH4. When it burns, it gives carbon dioxide plus water. And formation of water, that is hydrogen plus oxygen, it gives water. And respiration, you may ask me, ma'am, respiration is an exothermic reaction? Yes. What is happening in respiration reaction? We are taking in the food, carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates will react with oxygen in the blood cells. It will react. So what will happen? It will change into glucose. That glucose will be utilized by various parts of the body to perform various activities. So it liberates energy. So this energy will be utilized by the various parts of the body to perform our normal daily various activities. Okay, so respiration is an exothermic reaction. Next types we are going to see decomposition reaction. Decompose. It will split into or it will break down. In name itself, decomposition means it will decompose or it will break down. So here if you see a single reactant breaks down into two or more simpler products. Combination is when two reactants combine to form a single product. It is just the opposite. Here single reactant breaks down into two or more simple products. So combination is just the opposite of decomposition. Okay, simple first example we are going to see is ferrous sulfate. What is the formula for ferrous sulfate? FeSO4, ferrous sulfate. So what will be the color of ferrous sulfate? It will be pale green color. So what will happen? This symbol indicates heating, right? So on heating, it will loses its water molecule. Actual formula for it is a hydrated salt. Hydrated means the presence of water molecules will be there. So what will happen on heating? On heating, it will loses its water molecule and the color of crystal, it will change from pale green to brown due to the formation of ferric oxide. So ferrous sulfate on heating, the color of ferrous sulfate changes from green to brown, and along with it sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide is released. Okay, so when you heat it, you will feel the irritating or the pungent smell of sulfur. Okay, choking smell of sulfur. That is due to the evolution of sulfur dioxide. You know very well that while writing the equation, balanced equation is very important along with the states, whether it is a solid, gas or liquid. So in decomposition reaction, further we are going to see decomposition reaction requires three important conditions. Decomposition reaction, it needs three important conditions for decomposition to occur. If decomposition has to occur means it has to be satisfy any one of the condition. In presence of this any one condition only decomposition reaction will take place. First one, in types of decomposition reaction, the first one is thermal decomposition. So what is the first necessary condition? That is heat. So if the decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, that is called as thermal decomposition. What is the second type? Second necessary condition, it is electricity. When decomposition reaction is carried out by using electricity, it is called as electrolytic decomposition or electrolysis. Okay. What is the third type? That is the third necessary condition is light. So if the decomposition reaction is carried out in presence of light, it is called as photochemical or photolysis. So the three necessary conditions for the decomposition reaction to occur is heat, electricity and light. One by one we are going to see examples for each type of decomposition. First type, thermal decomposition, we will. Yes, first type we are going to see in decomposition reaction is thermal decomposition. The word thermal itself, it indicates heating, heat, right? So if the decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, it is called as thermal decomposition. The first example which we are going to see is calcium carbonate. What is the formula for calcium carbonate? That is CaCO3. So on heating, so it is very important to write the condition either above or below the arrow. That is very important to write. Please make a note. Okay, so calcium carbonate on heating, it gives calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay, next example is lead nitrate. So in a test tube, we are taking lead nitrate salt. What is the color of lead nitrate? It will be white color. And what is the formula for lead nitrate? Yes, it is PbNO3 twice. Now we are going to heat the lead nitrate that is taken in the test tube. You can see very well in the test tube brown fumes, right? So on heating lead nitrate, brown fumes is evolved and the white color lead nitrate changes into yellow residue. That yellow residue is due to the formation of lead oxide, PbO, plus nitrogen dioxide. This brown fumes, that is due to the evolution of nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. Clear? So if decomposition reaction is carried out by heating, that is called as thermal decomposition. Now we are proceeding to the second type of decomposition, that is called as electrolytic or electrolysis. Okay, so if decomposition is carried out by passing electric current, that is called as electrolytic or electrolysis decomposition. Okay, so here look at the activity given in book. In a plastic mug, we are drilling two holes and we are fitting two electrodes. Okay, and we are keeping the test tube inverted over that electrode. So this is anode and cathode and it is connected to the battery. You know very well, anode is positively charged electrode and cathode is negatively charged electrode. Don't confuse it with anion and cation. Anion means it tends to gain electrons, so it will be minus, whereas cation, it will tend to lose electrons, so it will become plus. Please don't confuse it between anion and cation. So here anode means positive charge, cathode means negative charge. Okay, so we are having two electrodes, that is anode and cathode. It is connected to the battery. So if you pass the electric current, so what will you observe? Look at the two test tube. You can see the bubbles of gases coming out. So this is the, we have taken a water. So we know very well that water, what is the formula for water? That is H2O. On passing electric current, it decomposes to H2 plus oxygen. So liquid, it is changing into gases. So this you can write it for change in state. You can write liquid, it is changing into gaseous state. Correct. Now I will ask you one question. So we know very well that evolution of hydrogen and oxygen. How will you find out in which test tube hydrogen is evolved and in which test tube oxygen is evolved? So we can simply, by a simple concept, we know very well that opposite charges attract each other, right? So here H2 we know very well it is plus, oxygen it is negatively, O2 minus. So oxygen will go and get deposited at the anode and the hydrogen will go and get deposited at the cathode. Opposite charges attract. Now you take this test tube and if you bring the burning splinter nearer to both the test tube, what will happen? The test tube which has oxygen, what will happen? Which one will have oxygen? Anode. The test tube that is connected to anode, that will have oxygen, and if you bring the burning splinter nearer to it, it will burn brighter, because we know very well that oxygen is the supporter of combustion, whereas in case of this test tube we know very well it has hydrogen, and if you bring the burning splinter nearer to this test tube, mouth of the test tube, it will burn out. So by this way you can test the presence of gas in both the test tube. So this is about electrolytic decomposition. Now we are moving on to the third type of decomposition, that is photo decomposition. If decomposition is carried out by light, it is called as photolysis or photo decomposition. Look at this picture. In the china dish, okay, we are taking a silver chloride salt. Silver chloride will be white in color. Okay, so what will happen? Just if you expose it to sunlight, you keep it outside for few hours, just for 1 hour, or if you keep it under the light, what will happen? It will start decomposing. Silver chloride will be white in color. So due to the presence of light, it starts decomposing and it decomposes to silver metal and chlorine gas. Or you can take silver bromide. Silver bromide will be yellow in color. Similarly, if you keep it in sunlight, it decomposes to silver, Ag plus bromine gas. Okay, so this principle is mainly, it is used in black and white photography. We know very well that combination reaction is exothermic, whereas photo decomposition, you can relate that the three conditions that is necessary for the decomposition to occur. What are the three conditions? Heat, light and electricity. So in this, all the three types, it is getting observed either by heating or by observing light or by passing electricity only it starts. So it is endothermic. Endothermic. So all decomposition reactions are endothermic. What is endothermic? The reaction in which energy is observed, that is called as endothermic. You may confuse between exothermic and endothermic. Exo means heat is released, whereas endo means heat is observed. Here I would like to ask you one question. Whether photosynthesis, it is exothermic or endothermic? Yes, photosynthesis is endothermic. Why? Because you know very well that photosynthesis occurs in presence of sunlight. So in presence of sunlight only, it prepares their own food, right? So it is endothermic. So respiration exothermic, photosynthesis it is endothermic. Thank you.